Okay, this video I titled Cheating the System, kind of a play on words here, because we have a system of equations and I can show you how you can actually solve without having to do any extreme math work. So let's work through it. So I have a multiple choice problem here. And what a system of equations is saying that when you have an x and y that makes this statement true, so it would say 13 equals 13. Okay, so for some x and y, that would make 13 equal 13. There exists a similar x and y such that if you would plug those in here, it would give you a true statement. It would say 48 equals 48. Right? And there's only one. Just like when you graph something and you find the intersection point, there's only one point that the two lines share, which means there's only one pair of x and y that the two lines share. Okay, so let's see if let's see which answer, A, B, C, or D, is the correct answer. Well, if they share it, that means I should be able to plug my x and y into both equations and get a true statement. So let's do that. So we have when 2 is x, I'm going to plug it into this first one here. 4 times 2 minus 5 times 1 is equal to 13. That's the question. Is it equal to 13? Well, we have, that's going to be 8 minus 5 equals 13, question mark, and that's 3 equals 13. This is not a true statement, so let me kind of bump this up a little bit. Okay, 3 does not equal 13, so we would say A is not an answer choice. Okay, so let's try the next one. Let me adjust my window a little bit here. Okay, so the next one, B. I'm going to plug it into the first one here. 4 times when x is 2 minus 5 times when y is negative 1. Does that equal 13? Okay, well, let's see here. That's going to be 8 minus a negative 5. Does that equal 13? Well, 8 minus a negative is really just saying 8 plus 5. Does that equal 13? And you can see that 8 plus 5 is 13, and 13 equals 13. Okay, so that works out here. But remember, it has to work. It's a point that both lines share, both equations share. So it has to work out in the second one as well. So we've got one so far. We're good here on B. And let's see here. Let's try the next one. So 6 times 2, I'm taking the same points, minus 2 times the negative 1 is equal to 48. Okay, well, let's see here. That's going to be 12 minus 2 times negative 1 is a negative 2. Does that equal 48? That's the question. Well, that would mean 2 plus 2. Does that equal 48? And you can clearly see that's going to be 14 equals 48, and that is not true. So B is not a correct answer. Okay, let's try C then. Okay, we don't have to start with the first one. We can start with the second one. So let's see here. 6 times, I'm now using my x and y for number C, or letter C, that is. So 6 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Does that equal 48? Well, that's going to be 36 plus 12. Does that equal 48? And 36 plus 12 is, in fact, 48, and you can plug that into a calculator if you're not quite confident. But 48 is 48, and so that is a true statement. And so now for C, it's true over here. Let's see if it's true for the other one. 4 times 6 minus 5 times 6, does that equal 13? And just eyeballing it, you might be saying, oh, well, 4 times 6 is less than 5 times 6. Okay, so if I take more away from less, I should get a negative. Let's see if that's true. So 4 times 6 is 24 minus 30. Does that equal 13? Well, 24 minus 30, you can plug into a calculator, you're going to get negative 6, which does not equal 13. So that's a no-go. So that would mean C is not a correct answer. So all we're left with is D, but let's just work through it just to make sure. I'm going to start with the top one again. So we'd have 4 times when x is 7 minus 5 times when y is 3. Does that equal 13? That's the question. Okay, so we have 4 times 7 is 28 minus, that's 15. Does that equal 13? And you can plug that into the calculator, and we should get 13 is equal to 13. So we're good here. Okay, let's try the next one. And you actually don't have to work it out like this. You could literally plug it into the calculator, and it should shoot you your answer, as long as you plugged it in correctly. So next one, we'd have 6 times, well, when x is 7, plus 2 times when y is 3 is equal to 48. Okay, let's see if that's true. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Is that equal to 48? That's the question. Okay, well, 42 plus 6 is, in fact, 48. So 48 is equal to 48. That is a true statement. So this point worked for both equations, and so that would be the correct answer. And that's kind of how you cheat a system of equations.